Hello, my name is Nathan, I am 39 and I am in recovery from an illness called addiction. What is addiction, Nath? Well, to me it is a horrible fact that if I take certain substances, it is beyond me to control the consumption of those substances after the initial intake, to the point where I would take them until I die. Ridiculous. Avoid the first one is the lesson I've taken from that. So what am I doing? Well, I'm buying back the years. Every year that I use substances, I'm spending a day talking to you for a bit. We started off in 1991. Where are we now, Nath? I've half forgotten. It's 2007. Yes, 2007. I forgot. I think I almost fell apart at the start. So, what's happening? Well, it's the same thing in America that's happened previously. Students gunned down fellow students for reasons that we could look into endlessly and have previously pontificated about on this very vlog. That word again. Gotta get used to it. Now, I find it difficult to discuss this without gritting my teeth and becoming sanctimonious. The first iPhone has been released. Apple's world domination bid. So they've been releasing them ever since. It's beyond me, this. I don't understand it. I don't understand how much one phone can do. They've released this one in 2007. I think they've released one every year since, haven't they? Haven't they? Every year since, and people queue up for it and pay money for it. And I mean, I like sending a text as much as the next man. But there you go. I'm obviously missing the point. Or am I? British troops have withdrawn from Basra. There were tropical storms in Karachi, in Pakistan. Same old thing, isn't it? It's amazing how we tend to, I've said this a million times before, no, don't say it again. We tend to think it's just happened, disasters and stuff, but it's been happening forever. I've said it again. Thank God, sweet relief, the final Harry Potter book has been trawled out to millions of loyal fans. Read Lord of the Rings, goodness sake, people. Transformers, the film, came out in this year. Now I'll tell you a very sad fact about Transformers, the film. I haven't seen any of the subsequent ones. When I was a wee bairn, I was absolutely obsessed with the Transformers in their first incarnation when it was cartoons and toys. Moreover, my favourite toy of all time was then, it still is now. If I had it today, it'd be standing here and you'd be looking at it. Optimus Prime. I adored him. I actually used to sleep with that particular toy on my pillow. That's how much I liked Optimus Prime. The love has not diminished. When I first saw, I don't believe I'm actually going to admit this, but here it is, the amount of things I've admitted on here, it's not worth worrying about, is it? When I first saw Transformers the film and Optimus Prime first transformed, I actually got goosebumps. Oh dear, bless you, bless you. I don't know what I've witnessed out. I like to, there were other things happened in 2007, a lot of tragic things to be honest with you, but I don't want to concentrate. It's recovery month, it's a bit of good news month, isn't it, really? So I don't want to weigh it down with stories of tragedy, so I'll pluck this one out. The world's largest squid was caught off of the coast of New Zealand. They're called the colossal squid, and this bugger was 33 feet long. 10 metres long there or thereabouts. Imagine that, squid. It's a lot of calamari. I've just made a note here. Lance Armstrong and Coldplay have duetted at Glastonbury. Of course, it's a lie. If you haven't seen these vlogs before, that will be an irrelevance to you, and you'll probably think I've lost it, but I found it quite funny. What have we been up to? I mean, how much can you get up to in 24 hours? Not a great deal, you'd like to think, but obviously things have happened because I'm engaging with reality and I'm not living in a vacuum. Last night, now usually I wouldn't do this, last night I watched The X Factor. Not my usual sort of thing, but again, I said yesterday, popcorn for the eyes. You don't have to engage with it, do you? There's no concentration required. And on the X Factore, there was a young lad at the end. You know, typically he was tattooed. You probably know what I'm talking about. He was tattooed. He had a guitar. He told him to go. It was all very contrived. They told him to go away, lose the guitar, and come back so he can, you know, finish off the show on a high and prove how brilliant you were. And it's all very scripted. But nevertheless, a wonderful looking young man, clearly, you know, and very talented. Who am I to say he wasn't? You know, he was undoubtedly, and he had a tattoo of a butterfly on his neck, which I thought looked bloody cool. I haven't got any tattoos. I was actually one of the very few people in my original friend circle not to have one, if not the only one, I think. There we go. Interesting / boring fact for you. But he had this tattoo, thusly placed, and Nicole Shirtslinger Slurzenmeister, the Slurshauser, whatever her name is, said, "Oh, I like butterflies. They represent metamorphosis to me." I thought, I get that. I wondered at that point, because mentioned a lot during my recovery and rehab process. I wondered at that point whether she had any or has any addiction issues and what she was addicted to. Muller yogurts, perhaps. But this idea and this thing of the metamorphosis is very, very true. It featured prominently throughout rehab, to the point when Mrs. Pepperpot mentioned yesterday the Welsh tornado, the force of nature that is Mrs. Pepperpot, who I can guarantee has still not watched this, even though she promised. You're lost. You're lost, Pepper, or maybe not. She had a tattoo of a butterfly with the infinity symbol underneath it, which the infinity symbol also became very prevalent down to a dream I had. Maybe I'll bore you with that story at another time, not today. And this idea of the metamorphosis is very, very true, as I said, and it took me back to a conversation. If you remember, I said I spoke to a lovely fellow called Craig from Helping Hands when I was doing the event, helping out at the event at a local hospital, the wellbeing event, and we were talking about the changes that occur when you start recovery. Now, he said, and I think he's right, and you know, sometimes you see someone come out with something and you think, have I been too dramatic here? But then both of you realise it's a truth, and the moment passes, and the thing he said was, something beautiful happens in recovery. And we paused to see if we were going to have a bit of a manly slap on the back, and let's pretend no one ever said that moment, but it didn't. We did both with, yeah, no, it does. Something beautiful does happen. And the butterfly is a perfect representation of that. For me, I was noticing, talking to my fiancée, that as I said previously, my brain's starting to tick along a bit quicker. You might be thinking, that's nonsense, is it? What was it like before, Dave? My sense of smell has come back, or is certainly, it feels like it's enhanced my taste. You know, when I feel an emotion, it's ramped up here. It's almost, you know, maybe your endorphins have been. I'm not from the medical profession in any way, shape or form, but maybe your endorphins were suppressed and are starting to come back. But it's undoubtedly you're starting to change. And I thought anyone watching this would be saying, well, have you changed, Nathan? Because you've got no point of reference, have you? You've got no point of reference to what I looked like, what I acted like, what I was. And I can assure you, it is a damn sight different to the person that was at the beginning of this year, and a damn sight different to the person that was a year and a half, 2 years ago, and even different to the person that, certainly different, the person that walked into rehab. A total metamorphosis, not just externally, internally, the way I think, the way my body's operating, the things I'm interested in, the way I engage. And there's just, someone said to me, using this quite, she was quite right, that you start discovering whole acres of yourself that you just didn't know existed. But not only that, I've discovered, for me personally, everyone's different, I've discovered that now I'm discovering all these bits. Previously, I think I would have been almost felt like I was, afraid to discover something about myself. That wouldn't be it wouldn't be okay. I'd discover some emotion I wasn't meant to feel, or I would be perceived as weak, or I'd get embarrassed in a scenario, or the mask would slip and underneath would be this person, hideous to view by other people. Don't look at me. So all these stupid fears, but nonetheless real. And I think part of, and this comes up again and again and again and again and again, the people I speak in this neck of the woods, dealing with this whole addiction thing, people pleasing. This is where this fear comes from. We're so worried, but it's in part, we're so worried about what people are going to think. You constantly, endlessly, I did anyway, tried to please them, tried to, as I said before, try to control their emotions, or desperately do whatever they wanted to do. Please let me appear exactly how you want me to appear, which was weird for me because of the role I was doing. A certain level of control of other people had to be operating at the same time. So you started to have to use that people pleasing thing as some sort of evil force to try and prod people in the right direction. All becomes very messy, very tiring and very pointless. But the freedom during this metamorphosis, to use the elaborate term, is that I don't people please anymore. Take music. Of course, like any human being, I get a little bit upset if I think someone doesn't like me, but it's becoming less and less important. This is me. Some people like me, some people won't. Down to you, pal. Nothing to do with me, really. Any alteration of this is a tremendous falsehood, a tremendous lie, and incredibly corrosive to your own sense of self-worth, I'd suggest. So that all come from a tattoo on a young man's neck whilst watching X Factor. That's kind of my thought for the day. And as we were watching this, we keep promising to watch films after the Hours debacle, emotional maelstrom that was watching A Court with the Hours. We've just been watching a little bit of TV, but moreover, give your TV a bit of a miss. We watch a little bit of it, then we sort of say, well, should we go and do something else? I don't know. Your imaginations are on wild on that one. Read a book, lay down. But as we have left this very sofa where I've sat so many times before, 16 times before in fact, and spoken to you, we suddenly realised I'd let. Do you remember Drage, like a hamster, the rebellious teenage hamster, in hamster years of course, that just smashes her cage up, doesn't really like anyone, sits around, eats, way too fat, arrogant, I think she either loves me or hates me, or maybe both. She's all torn up inside, addicted to pumpkin seeds probably. Cold turkey. I've given her ready for a while, but I put her out in a absorb, in her ball, and she was going around, and then we noticed when we were just about to go upstairs, the top of this thing had come off and she had escaped. Oh God. Just I was ready to go to bed at this point. So the top's come off. Freedom! She's leapt out, old Drage. But off she went. She suddenly realised that what freedom looked like wasn't this land of other hamsters getting fanned down with palm leaves and free pumpkin seeds and water coolers everywhere and huge hamster wheels at the corner of every street. What it was, it looked like the back of my washing machine. That's exactly where she ended up. I had to sort of deconstruct half of the kitchen, lure her out with her substance of choice, her seed of choice, and out she came. Grabbed her. Well, I didn't grab her. The other half did. Like a ninja, like a female ninja. In she went. She's not one of those fishermen that take the fishing with a spear. Got her back in the cage. So that was that. That was last night's excitement. By the way, before you ask, yes, Charles amygdala, the part of my brain that deals with my reward mechanism, who I've named Charles. Don't ask. I've done it. It's out there. He was happy. He got his Chinese. Admittedly, it wasn't a takeaway, but I'd conned him by playing Chinese music and stuff and buying some prawn crackers to go with it. Yes, I'm that childish. So he was happy, and then I suppose I'll leave you with this little thought. Rob, the Scottish gentleman, sent me a text saying, I thought you'd like this, Nath, my old mucker. Someone said to me, like, recovery is like walking up an escalator that's coming the other way. If you slow down or stop, you go right back to the bottom. And I suggest there's an element of truth in that. I would also say that if you're going to do that, you know, and we're all on that journey, make sure you play a bit of music and have good fun while you're going the opposite way up that escalator at some points, and don't see it as a chore. And eventually it will turn from the art of rowing into the art of sailing, which is kind of where I'm trying to be. So I shall leave you with that. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, or indeed any other day of the week that you happen to be watching this or stumbled across it on. Enjoy whatever you're doing, and I shall apportion you the appropriate levels of peace and love. Have them, there they are, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.